What's up, Hot Tub Nation? Welcome to episode 5 of Hot Tub Chronicles. We got a special guest over here, Deontay, Burnett. You got anything to say to Hot Tub Nation?
Man, thank you guys for welcoming me. Let's just get this interview going. Excited to be here.
Are you familiar with the whole Drake and Kendrick beef?
I know somewhat of it, but I'm not really a big music guy, so I don't really get into all that, but definitely some great diss songs.
So one thing that I noticed is Kendrick says to Drake, trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor.
Mm-hmm.
So one could say that Drake was having a minor problem. While I think Penn State could relate to that, because during the Rose Bowl, they were having a major problem with you. 13 catches for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What was that game like?
It was a crazy game. Leading up to the game, I woke up at about 3 a.m. and I kind of felt sick, threw up. And, going into the game that morning, this was under the weather. Once I got to the stadium, kind of relaxed, hydrated, and, I went to go warm up. Seeing the crowd, I didn't even warm up. I just went straight back into the locker room and just showed up at game time.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big Lil Baby fan myself, man. In his song, Me or Son with Nardo Lift, he goes, I think my favorite car is my blue one. Obviously referring to the fact he probably has a lot of cars, a lot of expensive cars. I could say that about the USC wide receiver room. You, Stevie Mitchell, Michael Pittman Jr., Juju, the list goes on. What was it like being on a team like that?
Man, it was a lot of talent, a lot of 4-star, 5-star guys who could just play any position, whether outside or slot. We had a lot of talent, and man, those were special years.
What was some of the intensity like going on at practice?
Every day you just see something crazy, whether it's a one-hand catch from D-Rod or Ty Devon, Stephen Mitchell stretching the field, showing his route. It was a lot of talent. You had Juju, man, you had a Dory. It was talent all across the board.
Talent all across the board and all across Hot Tub Nation. Dory, a prior guest of the show. Yeah. Now, let's start kicking it towards the NFL. When you get to the Jets, what's that like, being on the NFL team?
Man, I was just grateful to be there. Was on practice squad for a little bit, worked my way up and finally got a shot. And I just tried to run with every opportunity that I had. But other than that, I can't complain.
Nice. I believe it was versus the Vikings where you got your first career catch. I believe it was for 9 yards. What was it like, finally getting that first catch in the league?
It was crazy. Even though it was for 9 yards, I can always say that I got a chance to, catch an NFL pass in a real game. So it was definitely a blessing moment. And, I'm just, like I said, I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Nice. I'm a Kanye West fan. He likes the Windy City. Yeah. I'm sure a certain defensive back in the Windy City can remember when he caught it on their head. Kyle Fuller, he's been an all-pro, so this isn't just some, random guy we're talking about. Was there anything, special about that play? Were you, juiced up after that?
Yeah, man, I was excited, I got to make an explosive play to help the team and put them in scoring position. And, to go up against a great talent at cornerback and him, I was excited. It was just a real moment again and another opportunity in the NFL.
So that Jets defense was pretty loaded. As we're starting to see it now, you got players like Jamal Adams. What was practice like around those guys? And who were some leaders?
Man, Jamal, he was crazy. He set the tone in practice and in games. I've seen him have a 3-and-out by himself. That's how much of a special player he is. You had T-Man Johnson who was there. It was a lot of talent, and I got the chance to finally see the difference in a college level and an NFL level. And it's just all business, and those guys handle their business. So,
yeah, 100%. Now, was it, kind of special you got to play a little bit with Sam Darnold, playing with your college quarterback up at the next level? Was there, an extra, connection?
Yeah, it was always a connection when we played together. And, when we was at the Jets, he gave me opportunities. And I just tried my best to run with him. So we just kind of treated it like he was at SC when I did get the opportunity to go out there and play. So, yeah, he's definitely a connection there.
Nice. All right, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hypothetical. Let's say we're stuck on an island, middle of nowhere. You got to call one of your former teammates to come get you. Who do you think has got the best survival skills is going to come out there?
Probably a Deontay Harris.
Any reason why?
Deontay just always figure things out. He went to SC as a receiver. Then I believe his sophomore year he went to DB, and now look at him. He's just having crazy years as a defensive back, and he's a receiver. He's a quarterback in high school, went to receiver, so he always got a working attitude and a working energy to always, put himself in position to be successful. So I definitely call Jenner.
Nice. I like that choice. Have you ever seen the show Outer Banks?
Nah, I haven't seen it.
So one of the famous lines is "Bring it on home, John B." And he's talking about the character John Booker coming home. I personally say, "Bring it on home, Deontay." We're talking about that matchup versus the Giants, that 41-yard ball, which was a huge, clutching point to lock in that postseason. What was that play like?
We practiced that play about 7 to 10 times that weekend. I had a V route, so I stem in, and I'm running for about, I want to say 30 yards, and then I just hit the back pylon, and it's a rollout play, and I just try to attack the middle of the field and get vertical as fast as I can, and to get that DB to run with me. And once I seen he engaged with me, I just hit the gas and went to the pylon. Carson Wentz to a dot. It was a crazy throw, and I just came down with that play and put us in position to score and get us to the playoffs. And that was a big play in my career, one I'll never forget.
100%. Now, next week versus Seattle, you did have a catch in that game. What's like the NFL playoffs intensity like?
It's different. It's different. You can tell it's a difference from regular season. Even though that was my only playoff game that I played in, but it was definitely a different energy. So yeah, it's definitely night and day switch.
Nice. And in 2020, you've been a part of some pretty good Eagles rosters. I mean, that same roster pretty much made the Super Bowl. What was that Eagles team like?
A lot of talent as well. You had Darius Slay, you had Vontae Maddox. The whole defense was there. Fletcher Cox, Brendan Graham. So it was a lot of guys there. So it was definitely, I would say, in my opinion, the defense is leading that team. So, yeah.
100%, but the defense couldn't lead that team enough in 2022, and the Commanders, gave them a nice whooping. 8-0, I think they were. But yeah, I think we'll run it through. Throughout your career, what would you say is your favorite moment?
My favorite moment by far is definitely deciding to go to USC, man. It was just a blessing. And I feel like I wouldn't be where I'm at without that school and its history, so definitely deciding to go to USC. But outside of that, my favorite moment will be the touchdown catch versus Texas, where I'm running across field and Sam just throws it, and I dive for it in the back of the end zone to get my elbow down. That's definitely probably my favorite moment I can see.
Yeah, I actually watched that play the other day.
Yeah.
Right up the middle. Love that. Now, speaking on the college team, what do you say is like the most intense college atmosphere that you guys have played in?
Notre Dame by far. Notre Dame is crazy, especially my freshman year when they had Jalen Smith, the linebacker.
Yeah.
So he was crazy talented, so that was the craziest place I ever played in.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know Jalen Smith has gave my Commanders some trouble, so that definitely stings a little deep. And I would say lastly, what's your concluding message for Hawkwood Nation?
Man, make sure y'all tune in and just take a look at all his videos, man. It's some good content, and hopefully you guys can just keep tuning in and helping this brother out. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, Marquette King, we got to get you out here. Heard it from us first. All right, peace out.